Kia ora koutou, Markie here. So, just want to do a quick video, although I've said that before, to talk about this book that I have just read. I say read, I've skim read it. I found this by accident in the library. Well, not by accident, I was looking at books, so I guess, I was asking for it, wasn't I? 42 best practices for using Asperger's syndrome traits at work successfully. So this was first published back in 2011. So it's using the term Asperger syndrome, which isn't used by clinicians anymore, or not officially anyway. I still like the term Aspie. I'm an Aspie myself, although I have PDA, so I call myself a PADI really. So I'm more of a PDA presentation than the classic kind of Aspie presentation, but autism is what we're talking about. And Ashley Stanford is a techie entrepreneur who has run several companies in the techie field, and this is over in America. And her husband is or was an Aspie. Maybe now he's on the autistic spectrum because all this terminology changes. So she learnt a lot from him, but she also kind of encountered a lot of, I'll show you the back of the book as well, of autistic people in the techie field. Now autistic people are the kings and queens of the techie field, and she learnt a lot through her husband, but also kind of recognized positive traits in employing, or positive advantages of employing people with autism, which is great. So props to her. So she's written this book. So it's got 42 tips for well, as the title suggests, really. It does what it says on the tin. So this is not really a review, it's just a few thoughts about the book, and just to make people aware of it. Now, obviously it's dated, and I don't know when people first started talking about unmasking in autism, when that became a thing. I don't know if that was before or after 2011. There are some areas here that kind of smack of masking, but I think she's more nuanced than that, really. I think, she's aware of the need to be yourself, but also, how do you manage that in the work environment? And I'm sure lots of people with autism will tear this book apart for all kinds of reasons, because people with autism do that. That's one of our the negative sides, is we can be very pedantic, very what's the word, blinkered, very over focused, if you like, on certain things, zoom in on certain things and go to town on them. But I think this woman's got a very good heart, and although some of the things in this book might smack of masking, a lot of them don't. So there's a real mix in there. So what else do I want to say about the book? I find it, I like the author. I liked her. I like the fact that she draws on lots of different things. She talks a lot about body language, which is interesting, and talks about Joe Navarro. And obviously that's an interest of mine, so I found that quite interesting. And she said a similar thing to me, really. I've got a series, Social Skills for Aspies and Askies, in which I talk about learning from the body of knowledge around body language. The body of knowledge around body language. That's appropriate, isn't it? So she's saying some of the same things as me. I didn't find many of the tips that helpful, but I think that's only because I've been around the block. I'm an old dog. An old workhorse. I've worked in many places and made all the mistakes and had all the prejudices and had all the pitfalls that come the way of Aspies in the workplace, and had all the hard knocks. But one thing I think stood out for me is that she talks about othering in there, and she talks about how, I might do more on this actually, but how not only does the Aspie at work get othered, but the Aspie can other the rest of the team, the rest of their colleagues, that was an eye-opener for me, because I recognised that I'd done that, probably mainly as a defence mechanism. But often I've been in workplaces, and I've kind of had this thing, oh, everyone's different to me, I feel like the odd one out, or these other people don't get it, and that's for a whole number of reasons, really. But that was useful. That comes towards the end of the book. If you want to know more about that, let me know, and I can go into that into a bit more detail. But that was quite interesting. So yes, I mean, I skim read it, in fairness, because a lot of it was stuff that I'd already come across or knew, or was already doing, or already decided I wasn't going to do. I think it's worth a read, probably, but it is a bit, I think the whole field of autism has just moved on massively, hasn't it? It's going at a huge pace. I still think it's worth a read, but I would certainly read other things. Don't make this your only go-to book for autism. And I would go to Devon Price's book Unmasking Autism if you want a general, although it's not written as a general guide to autism. I think it's a good general guide to autism. It could be read as a general guide to autism. So if you're only going to read one book on autism, read Devon Price's Unmasking Autism. Don't read this one. But if you've read other stuff, if you're up to speed on, if you already kind of in touch with the current thinking and some of the other, various other learning on autism, this is something you could read as well. Because boy, does autism make things hard in the workplace. And we definitely need a book like this. It would be great to see it. I don't know if maybe there's a revised edition. It would be great to see it, to see that, actually. It would be great to see an update on this. So yeah, hope that's helpful, and please help keep supporting us. We really appreciate it. We really appreciate our supporters, subscribers, patrons, I should say. This is a channel that's mainly about supporting people with retroactive jealousy, but we do a lot on autism and ADHD and all forms of neurodivergence. So check out those. They're all on the playlist, so you can get to them. Thank you for listening, and Rangimarie.